Hello everybody, Aragoth here. Wanted to make a little video detailing deck that I was having success with at the end of last month in Faeria. I am fairly new to the game, but long time TCG, CCG player. I've put a good amount of hours into the game already. You can see I've got two decks. This one I net decked from Lu 90. And this guy, which if you watched my intro video, you would have saw a peek of. I've had since renamed it to Lord of Boulders. Give it something with a little bit more flair for a name. This is something that I put together. Likely there's similar stuff to it out there. I haven't really gone looking through really any Faeria content other than finding Lu 90's channel on YouTube. And he really seems to favor green and blue decks. I really like this. I originally created it as something that would be just really aggressive. But I found through playing with it, and the minor adjustments I've made to it as I've played with it, that it's actually got a nice control element to it as well. So we'll go through this card by card here. We got Rebel Slingers, so a lot of this is about dealing damage directly to your opponent. So the Rebel Slingers, of course, when you play them down, 2 damage to opponent. Flame Spitters are there for typically to clear out, help clear out minions, but sometimes it's just to get that little extra push of damage. Blood Singers, of course, whenever an enemy creature dies, deal 1 damage to your opponent. More pressure. Flame Burst helps me keep the board clear. Flamethrower. I just got one of these in here. I've thought about adding a couple more and changing up some stuff, but so far it's really working well. It's a 3/3, so 3 Faeria, 3 mountains, and ranged creature, which if you're not familiar, ranged creatures do damage in a line. So, and this one, of course, when you attack a god with it, also does 1 damage to all enemy creatures. So again, a little bit more board control. Cypher's Fodder, deal 2 damage to your opponent when it dies. So I use this to basically help protect my ranged creatures that really are the heart of this deck. Blood Song, it's in here to help me get more cards out and have big turns. Brute is another card that does damage to the opponent. Only on this one, it's when it is involved in combat. 2 Firestorms is, big board clear, 3 damage to all enemy creatures. And then the Lord of Terror, which is part of where the name comes from. These guys really ramp up their damage because I'm going to the opponent's face so often. 3 Boulder Throwers, another ranged creature that does damage in an area around its target, which is awesome board control. And then Ignis, just to round the deck off, more board damage as well. Now, things that I've thought about throwing in and making changes to, and maybe as I go up in ranks with it, these are changes that I might need to make. Maybe I don't even have them yet. Let's go into crafting and take a look. Ground Shaker, really big, 1 damage to all enemies. It's not the card I'm looking for. Yeah, this one. Cypher's Wrath or Seifer's Wrath, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. 2 damage to a creature. If it dies, deal 2 damage to its controller. Another good, cheap board removal. It's a rare. I don't have any, haven't crafted any, or got any in packs yet. which is kind of crazy considering the number of packs I've been able to open. I've commented before, you get a lot of cards in this game just by doing the content that's available. So definitely go through that AI content, build up your decks. They give you way more as a player playing for free than any other card game I've seen. It's really amazing just how friendly it is to new players. But there is a lot of cards as well. Each color has a pretty hefty collection. So you want it to be accessible. And of course there's crafting. I just crafted Tarim for this deck. He was the card I was missing for it, which he's a big legendary. But let's actually go into the ladder. These will be my first games this month on the ladder. And take a look at the deck in action. So ranked, we are of course ranked 25, starting fresh, first day of the month. Crack open my root beer here. Hopefully I don't sniffle too much through this. If it's really bad when I play through, I'm just going to edit it out, so you might see quick little cuts and skips just from me getting rid of my sniffling. So it's kind of annoying to listen to, I imagine. So if you do see quick little cuts in this recording, it's because I was getting rid of my awful sounding sniffling. I'm gonna get rid of these two for now. We do want to keep Boulder Thrower. He is pretty integral. Now the nice thing about the deck, as much as Boulder Thrower is important, I've found that I don't really need to be picky about my starting hand at all. Basically, as long as you've got stuff that's 1 or 2 mountains required. I don't like to start with the Lords because they do have a bit more of an excessive cost. And we're not going to throw down the Slinger quite. Actually, we will. We'll get that. I want to be able to collect that Faeria well next turn. But we want to get this Boulder Thrower out fairly quick. So we're gonna let that turn pass. Looks like he's doing something aggressive. The Death Touch, interesting. Do we want to? Yeah, let's get this out. Do that. Nice, Ignis. Less. I'm fine if he trades into that. Yeah, next turn we'll throw down a mountain here. That trade. Let's get that mountain. But I also, do I want to? Maybe I should have thrown this mountain here. Actually, I played that a bit too fast, I think. But yeah, let's get some pressure over here. His focus is going to be trying to clear out that boulder thrower. Yeah. This is why I should have had a mountain closer. Mountain there. Gonna collect that. Get rid of you. Throw you down. I think I misplayed this a little bit. Yeah, he has to make that decision. Want to get more pressure on the board. That's pretty big. Let's collect that. And we're gonna... Oh. We're gonna let him come to me. I figured some of that damage would go on there, but we've still got him in a bit of a panic here, I think. He has to know at this point he can't outrace me. Can he? Maybe he can. If he has a buff for that, I lose. Or haste, I guess. You have haste. Whew, tight game. I made that one screw up on my mountain placement, and it nearly cost me. I should have been more defensive. Let's go again. This Therium deck is interesting. I've watched Lou90 play it a little bit. Really liked the look of it and the idea of it. I don't execute it quite as well. And I think that comes from it being not my own deck, right? Like I'm trying to place someone else's idea, someone else's tech. So it does take a bit where it's kind of, I grew with this deck as I built it, so I know exactly how I want it to function and the things I want to do with it. So it does make a big difference when you're making your own decks versus picking them off the internet. Net decking is definitely a very viable thing. It can, especially for a player that's just getting going, helps you maybe see some mechanics that maybe you didn't see before, get some ideas for things, and then maybe you take that net deck and then you start to make changes and mold it to your own kind of what you want or your vision of things, because the meta does change. And get rid of that Lord of Terror. Bloodsingers we love. So don't feel bad net decking, because it'll get you places. I just think it's very important also to learn how to understand how decks are built and to build one of your own. I think that's really big. So my ideal play here is to get the Boulder Thrower out next turn and then start getting the Bloodsinger out. And maybe one of the others, but for now we want to start getting pressure. He seems to be playing a more control style based on his lands. A little bit of damage there from him. Let's get that moving. Why would you do that? That's an odd decision. He just saved me a turn. Strange. This is your turn timer, by the way. Your well slowly depletes as your turn ticks down. Curious on his decision making there. Get a nice aggressive mountain there. I don't need to worry too much about defensive placements right now because he's playing very control-y. I've got good control on this side of the board right now. Nice. For now, I'm just going to go into the face and let's do that. I think I'm going to throw this other Boulder Thrower here once I move this forward. It limits what he can place. It becomes a control creature by doing that. It gives me that line right here. Because I'll move this up and in this way, so it's not blocking my shot. He's not blocking anything here. That should be game. That's it. So yeah, very aggressive, but it does have decent board control as well. So yeah, if you get the cards and you want to give it a try, I don't think it's a very expensive deck to put together. Double check it here again, just to be. So we got common, 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 rare. That's the one flamethrower is epic. Rare. Firestorms are epic. Which is why I've only got 2 of them currently. I've been lucky enough to get a mythic in 1. Terrors, though, that's a big one. Yeah, I think I actually crafted the extra terrors I needed for this when I saw the terrors. So there is a few expensive cards, and of course the Ignis is really. When I got Ignis in a pack, I was so pumped. I've actually gotten some really cool legendaries in recent packs. Time of Legends is awesome. But one I just got, Magda. Awesome. I got this in a arena run that I'm actually in the middle of doing right now, and she is so clutch. But anyways, that's kind of getting off on a tangent. As my deck tech for my Lord of Boulders deck. If you have any thoughts or opinions or have any ideas of your own that you want to share, please do. And like and subscribe. And enjoy your day. Happy gaming.